What do people say that makes you instantly know they are full of shit? We've been trying to contact you about your car's warranty. Edit. Thanks for the love. It's good to know I'm not the only one who hates those bastards. I love keeping these people on the line as long as I can without disclosing that I do not, in fact, own a car. I was okay with real people. I had fun leading the salespeople along, especially back in high school when I had my first car. It was a Granimobile that had 65k miles, but it was 26 years old. Sadly, the scammers have gotten wise to our time wasting ways, and all I get these days are robocalls. Would I lie to you? Apostrophe. Are you calling me a liar? Apostrophe. Yup, I ain't calling you a truther. When you are telling someone about something, and they have to cut you off to tell you about something similar that is slightly better in some way. Edit. Wow. My inbox. Thank you for the awards, everyone. 1-uppers are the worst. 2-uppers are even worse than that. The 1-uppers. I went on holiday to Greece last year and yeah, well, when I lived in Greece I nearly got married to a rich man who owned a feeder factory, and also I went to the moon. If you've been to Tenerife, they've been to Elevenerife. If you've been to Timbuktu, they've been to Timbuktu. I can help you make so much money you can live off the proceeds without having to work. MLM. It's all natural and doesn't have chemicals, so it's good for you. Apostrophe. Yeah. So is the vacuum of space. How about I toss you into that? See? Don't trust anyone that says that. I fully believe you do not possess the power to toss someone that far nor the money to buy a spacecraft to toss from a closer distance. Yeah, that guy's a tosser for saying that. Anyone who writes they graduated from the University of Life on their profile. Wouldn't graduating from the University of Life mean you're dead? I thought this too. Generic off the wall comment. Well, if you don't believe me, just look it up. Apostrophe. You look it up. They are incorrect. Close cousin to that is the I did the research, or do your own research. Research these days apparently means reading Facebook memes and watching conspiracy theory videos on YouTube. Do your own research invariably means no. Don't find the most likely explanation. You need to watch this YouTube video of a guy in a truck with sunglasses on. He makes a lot of sense. Apostrophe. When they only speak in hyperbole, the biggest or the greatest, etc., 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 or when they make generalization statements based on one occurrence in their life, e.g., instead of this one woman loved getting her hair pulled, it's women love getting their hair pulled. Apostrophe. What part of the internet did you visit? Believe me, trust me, sadly, I have a dress that says that. Self-aggrandizing, passive-aggressive statements about their perceived emotional status, worth, and or interactions with other people. If you can't handle me at my worst, I'm mean to everybody, except when I need something, and am mad that a lot of people don't stick around to deal with that. Close bracket. I'm so tired of giving people chances. People have told me no to outrageous or excessive requests, or perhaps just happen to date/marry somebody I totally 100% called dibs on in my head, or dated several years ago. So tired of all the fakers. I'm finally realizing that people politely lie to me to get me off their back when I'm being pushy. Close bracket. I'm just being honest. I have no filter and think that honesty is a virtue which absolves me of the responsibility of paying attention to when people actually want to hear my opinion. Close bracket. References to qualifications that don't mean what they think. I have an IQ of Cs, unless you also know the standard deviation. That's a relatively meaningless number for comparison with other IQ scores. Even if you actually have a high IQ, it doesn't mean you're right. It just means that when you're wrong faster. Bragging about IQ is a huge red flag for me. I'm also annoyed that having a high IQ is something that some people still treat as an accomplishment. IQ measures problem solving ability and simple extrapolation. Things that matter in real life. Things anyone can train themselves to be good at for their own improvement. Furthermore, This training your brain can lead to other positives such as better introspection of oneself, potentially allowing someone to become more empathic/emotionally intelligent. Anyone who says something about detox. Edit. By detox, I mean the people who drink detox tea cause it would help remove toxins and negative energies from their bodies, not people who go to rehab. The album was supposed to come out in 2005, but press said he wasn't going to do it anymore. Mostly because he gave his biggest bangers to other rappers. Inda Club was supposed to be on detox. What a waste. Trust. He didn't give them away. Pricelink.com/how much money does a hip hop producer make? 13,654,109. HTML. GOOO out of the fucking WAAAAY, I need to GO to the bathroom. And we are done here. You win. Take my damn upvote and get out. You have won the internet. Faith in humanity restored. You magnificent bastard. To the top with you. Why would I lie to you? When not accused of lying. The fact that you felt the need to say that unprompted kinda makes me think you're lying. Oh. Sorry. My brother was on the account. No the fuck he wasn't, stop lying. And apologize for real. Didn't expect this to get this much attention. WHIK kind WIZRD gave T high S comment a silver. I'm so sorry. My brother stole my phone and sent a pic of his dick to try and mess with me. 100% wasn't me, I swear. Show me your dick to compare. A lot of people are saying it. Believe me. Apostrophe. I read that in Trump's voice in my head. Didn't even consciously do it. It just happened automatically. Same here. My brain assumed it was a quote. Anyone who feels compelled to remind you of their education or achievements prior to dispensing unsolicited advice. I remember when I used to do online dating. There was this woman that stated very boldly in her profile that she was a Rhodes Scholar. Then she proceeded to talk about how smart she was. Her final comment was, "Please do not contact me unless you fully understand what a Rhodes Scholar is." Good God. This lady must have been a joy to hang out with. It's because once they get it, that's their biggest ticket to everything work related for the rest of their lives. It trumps out any real experience. I used to work for the Hubert H. Humphrey Fellowship and the people who were actually credited with making the decisions didn't. Congrats. Some hourly contractor like me liked your resume and essay and told the board members whom to pick. After those programs, being accepted will be the biggest thing they've ever done, likely for the rest of their lives. I have met exactly one former HHH fellow, and she was in it like 30 years ago, and she still wanted to talk of nothing more. It was super interesting to me, but I'm sure nobody else cared. She went on to be quite high ranking in the NZ government, but her greatest achievement was being selected for the HHH program. When they don't stop talking, or have unlimited stories. I knew a guy who would watch Reddit videos on YouTube. He copied one of the stories word for word and just changed names, and tried to pass it off as his own. Bruh, you aren't the only one with internet. That would be kind of fun after a while. Come into the office after the weekend and see what popular Reddit stories/videos he claims as his own. Maybe one day he'll have a story about a safe he found in a basement somewhere. I have a really high IQ and variations thereof. He is not that bright. Guaranteed. This is a particularly good one because IQ tests weren't designed to prove intelligence above the average, rather to filter out people with intelligence deficiencies, and these days there are probably a billion IQ tests on the internet which all do and say different things. And there's the fact it is averaged out. On the matter of internet tests, I had a guy once tell me he had an official MIT IQ test he paid for that said he was a genius, and the website clearly stated it wasn't affiliated with MIT. I consider that an intelligence test in and of itself. Using a bunch of corporate buzzwords that don't actually end up meaning anything, such as, we think out of the box, to synergize our virtual data at one of the greatest speeds of 2020. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. The most knowledgeable people I've met in life also use the least bullshit jargon. If they used an SAT word, it was for a very specific and precise reason. And outside of that, they usually spoke in plain language. People who drown other people in jargon are generally covering up sophistry with verbosity. I'm a massage therapist and anyone who says they're in the same profession as me because they practice Reiki is full of shit. Without exception. My mill bought me a Reiki session as a gift. Gave it a go, even though I wasn't fussed about the appointment. The Reiki practitioner said one of the crystals was telling her my heart was blocked up and I would never really love anyone deeply. I'd had a baby 4 weeks ago and it messed me up for a while hearing that. Horrible experience I wouldn't wish on anyone. How did you feel after you slapped the snotty bitch? It's not what they say, it's how they say it. There are a subset of people who fake smile while talking to you, and it's pretty obvious when you learn to recognize it. These people are full of shit and I don't trust them. They only smile with their mouth. An ex once mentioned that in someone we know, and I couldn't unsee it. Almost every chronic bullshitter I've encountered since has the same expression, a curved mouth. But without the emotion and the rest of their face that would constitute a genuine smile. It has an almost uncanny valley level of creepiness to it. Not to say this is always the case, but some people with autism may smile like this because they've learned to smile during conversation as part of masking. With some people their symptoms are quite hidden, so you may not know they have autism, except for small tells like this. Leery of anyone using the phrase, out of the kindness of my heart. I think I sincerely only ever heard it from people who have absolutely no kindness in their hearts. That's kind of like the nice guys thing. Like if you are truly a nice guy, you shouldn't have to state it. I'm only trying to help. Don't you want my help? I'm only trying to help, but I'm going to ignore everything you've just said and invalidate you because it doesn't align with what I think you should do. Mum. Is that you? Exclamation mark. When they can never answer straightforward questions and then change the subject to avoid accountability. That's just how politics work. Trust me. I knew somebody who would constantly lie about everything, but more so she kept saying that she was pregnant. I knew this was a lie because I knew her for 2 years after she said this. And during those 2 years she said I'm pregnant with twins and this is my first baby, when she kept claiming she had already given birth. She would also claim sometimes that she was never pregnant in the first place and that I was making it all up. That's not full of shit. It's psychotic. Vaccinations cause autism. When people start using overly complex words or examples, or won't use any form of reason, that isn't just abusing/referencing others without saying it themselves. As I heard somewhere, you do not truly understand something if you cannot explain it to someone in simple terms. Saying it's too complicated to explain means it's actually just too complicated for you to understand. Best way to remember how to properly do something is to teach someone else. The Feynman technique. Link. B/TKM0TNFZIEG. My eye color changes depending on what mood I'm in. I'm amazed how many different people I have heard this from. Edit. The amount of responses I'm getting from people claiming this actually happens to them just proves my point further. The color looking different in different lighting is not the same thing. Hazel eyes can look different colors under different lights in my experience, but it's just something I've noticed. Can confirm. I have hazel eyes, and while I've never really noticed it, I have received numerous comments about them changing color. If I got something to say to you, I'll say it to your face. That's the type of person I am. It's never the type of person they are. I know a guy who says that, and he is telling the truth. He's also a ducking asshole a lot of the time, so there's that. If they tell you their entire life story within 24 hours of meeting you, watch out. They could be nuts. Also, if during that life story everyone has screwed them over and they've never done anything wrong ever, but everyone else in their lives has betrayed them, cheated on them, stolen from them, etc., chances are they're the one that actually did all those things. I seem to attract these people in my life, and until recently I've fallen for it every time. No more. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. No more, I say. Exclamation mark. It's a fact that, apostrophe, believe me, apostrophe, I'm very smart/a genius, apostrophe, I have a great thing that never materializes. No one is better than me. Apostrophe. These are all things bullshitters say and do in order to manipulate the people around them. Honestly, most of those phrases reminded me of Trump lol. As they should. If I never hear the phrase false accusations of molestation on a first date ever again, it will be too soon. I'm just keeping it real. Nope, no you're not. I'm a Navy SEAL. From guys trying to hit on me. I get it. You're all Navy SEALs. Why do I attract that type? I remember being 19 at a bar to see a show, and this older guy sat down next to me and started talking to me. He wouldn't go away. Kept mentioning that he was a Marine like that was supposed to get me wet or something. And laughing way too hard at everything I said. When I wasn't ever trying to be funny. Then it's back to did I mention I'm a Marine? Yeah. Dude. Like 20 times. I don't give a shit. Did I mention I'm a Marine? If I see any Navy around tonight, I'll tell them you need a ride home. Apostrophe. Everybody is so fake. Apostrophe. Bitch no it's just you. More how they say stuff. I was taught in college circa 2006, 2008-ish, that you should always second guess your opinions and constantly be asking questions. Just because someone says something you disagree with doesn't mean they're malicious, and doesn't mean you can't learn from them. Always take what they say with the concept that you may be wrong, and they may be right. This way you can be sure to grow, and become a better citizen. A recent trend in parts of the West has been for some people to absolutely throw that idea out of the window and just spout stuff off with complete confidence and not listen to a single argument I make. They've decided they're right and they won't even have a discussion with someone they disagree with, who in their right mind thinks that's healthy. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.